Right, back again here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube, obviously, because of the conversation that we had to do. Obviously, first of all, Chelsea's big game tactical analysis in the lead up to that game against Crystal Palace. God willing, tomorrow, Chelsea has a huge game against Crystal Palace at the Selhurst Park. It starts as a game that Chelsea needs to win. This morning, I was mentioning the fact that if you look at Newcastle, if you look at Nottingham Forest and their games, Nottingham Forest, constantly looks as if they are matches that they are going to be able to win. Our star match snowboarding, and Chelsea have to make sure say so it's a game that really Chelsea has to go on and then get some good wins in there. And they start with Crystal Palace. God willing, tomorrow at 3 p.m. and at Chelsea Airbus side game. No, very, very tough one. The overview of the pre-match analysis is what Crystal Palace's manager Oliver Glasner has said in his pre-match press conference. Okasimbi, they are very, very intriguing. I want us to listen to Oliver Glasner in terms of what Chelsea can do on the ball and off the ball. In fact, Oliver Glasner say Chelsea cannot be flexible towards them. Or no, there's nothing that Chelsea can change. He knows exactly what to do to stop that Chelsea team. No? And until he's going to wait for them. Yes, Marco Cray and the Lapin run. No? Malo Gusto coming inside, it's the same thing in a Chelsea bay on Jin to Muse Chelsea bay to buy before with respect to match number one. But you know what? Let's listen to Crystal Palace for manager friend Oliver Glasner. Then we'll come back and continue the pre-match analysis of Chelsea versus Crystal Palace. Yeah, so that was Oliver Glasner essentially saying over there, said Chelsea cannot be as flexible. They can't change anything. The 3-2-5, the 3-1-6. The build-up phase and the lapping, Marco Crea keeping the weight sometimes, the technical ability of Malo Gusto. That's essentially what he can do. We'll do the tactical analysis in detail. Marenfi said Madrid also played this evening. They managed to get a win at the Mestalla, a place where they've been constantly winning. But it was with a lot of drama. They made this uncommon. But let's listen to the pre-match preview I put together earlier on. Crystal Palace recent performance now. In here some good improvements. That I've seen. Just one loss in their last 11 Premier League matches. We need 4, draw 5 of them. Oliver Glasner seems to be getting the boys back to be playing well. Here Chelsea here. Fashion said that's a Crystal Palace side that's playing very well. That's getting some good wins and draws at the very least. In the last 10 games, unbeaten. I mean, all of them lose just one when Oman here 11 matches are. And they will seriously test Chelsea in 2025 opening up as they welcome Chelsea at Selhurst Park. Obviously, London derby is a little bit difficult. In the last few games that Chelsea are losing, have all been games that have been close to London derbies. The game against Fulham is key amongst them. While since recent years, the fixture has tormented the Eagles, who have last won in the last time was in 2017. And then the last time at Crystal Palace for share here in a London derby against Chelsea. They have drawn 1 and they've lost 14 since 2017 in London derbies. No side in the competition's history has been beaten more times by Chelsea, 24 times. Remember, if he said in the first round of the season, sad game went ended in a 1-1 draw. It was a Cole Palmer goal and an equalizer from Eberechi as an excellent play from Crystal Palace. But Palace did end this the 14 match unbeaten streak head-to-head. No. Palace got a job done the last time they played against Chelsea, and it was a very, very good one for them. Our Stamford Bridge on them. So Oliver Glasner's men have won just twice in the Premier League all season, 4 draws and then 4 losses. It's set to be tricky though, with only one promoted team, Wolverhampton Wanderers, having fewer points at home. At the same time, Chelsea ended 2024 in a miserable fashion, like we did mention. They struggled in those games against Fulham and in that other one against their friend Ipswich Town over there, with 1 draw and 2 losses in the last one. Enzo Maresca insisted to say not Chelsea any title race contention, and was always going to be a tough one for them. That was despite firing 20 shots and dominating possession, making it back-to-back away games without scoring for Chelsea. The draw at at Everton and the other one at the Portman Road is the bad one for Chelsea. Crystal Palace player friend Ismail Sarr is in some very, very good form for Crystal Palace and then Chelsea would have to be very, 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 very careful. Now, like Oliver Glasner, Ocean Crystal Palace side now, almost they come in with a lot of control of the ball. They come in with a lot of transitions, and that's one of the things that Chelsea have to be very careful of. And in another page, I explained to you why Chelsea obviously have called in Aaron and Selmino, because Crystal Palace and a lot of the teams in the English Premier League generate a lot of transitions. Now, if you want to try in playing against these teams with a lot of transitions, you yourself you should be able to deal with transitions, and that's exactly the kind of things that Chelsea would want to do. According to Squawker, only 2 midfielders have made 30 plus tackles and 30 plus interceptions in the Premier League this term. Moises Caicedo and Abrantia Ryan Gravenbach, and they call them the elite protectors. And these 2 boys are getting the job done in terms of the Jumanon Pesomwe games. Big game. How Chelsea most likely will fare against the Crystal Palace side. But once the Crystal Palace most of the times are switching in a 3-4-1-2, and it's a 4-1-2, and it's a system. It's a 3-4-1-2 system, and that's a 3-4-3. It's a system that I've seen Oliver Glasner playing a lot of the times, especially in his time in the German Bundesliga for Eintracht Frankfurt. And what he does is that he uses 2 inside the Martins. This time, either Sobe Yusa Brente Feno Daichi Commander and Asa Brente Feno what's his name? A better chair as the inside, and then use the width from Ismail Sarr. Sometimes too, he wants an outlet, and I'm sure in the game against Chelsea, he will play either Edson Edouard and Asa Brente Feno, Jean-Philippe Mateta as an outlet to hold up the play, and then bring a lot of physicality in game. Of course, the centre back of Brente Feno, Lacroix, has one of the best centre backs that he gets in the league, with Marc Gueye, Lacroix, and Brente Feno, Trevor Chalova making the back 3. Rodrigo Munoz, Hughes, and Brente Feno, Edson Lama, Fiifi-Manfred, Tarek Mitchell as a wing back. Then play Ismail Sarr and Jean-Philippe Mateta to have enough width at wing back, and then generating a lot of transitions. So you saw Brente Feno, Jean-Philippe Mateta in the hold-up player. Then Ismail Sarr will pick up the pieces and then transits the ball forward and trying to hit teams now. So we're expecting that that's going to be the same with Lacroix being the CCB, or one of the toughest centre backs that you can get in the English Premier League this season. And I expect a huge battle between any team, any Brente Feno, Nicholas Jackson in the games that are going to go on. Now, I think that Palace played like that the first time they came to the English Premier League, and they played in that game with a lot of physicality or bottom person. But now, when I say physicality, what I essentially mean, and I said, watch it, Crystal Palace for now. Omobo at Chelsea, they were very compact. Now, in the 3-4-3, or that's a 3-4-1-2 system now, Crystal Palace for ball. Without the ball, it actually becomes more like a 5-4-1. So you have 5 players at the back. The wing backs come and make it 5. Then the midfielders, they add a branch here. Your friend Ismail Sarr to in Fiifi-Manfred to make it a midfield of 4. Then they have a branch here. Your friend Jean-Philippe Mateta as an outlet. Anybody can generate a lot of transitions into inside area anymore. They go into the channels with Jean-Philippe Mateta, an aggressive, big, bulky centre forward that you have to deal with all game if you want to succeed. And I know they had a big issue also at Chelsea, because Chelsea lacks the front-footed centre back that will be aggressive and defend on the front foot and then nick things in the back, be in the faces of the attackers and Sadio Mane. It's really, really going to affect Chelsea. The absence of Abrantia, your friend Wesley Fofana, we will hear say he's going to be out from Chelsea team, for a very, very long time. In fact, what we are hearing, and it's our brand your friend Wesley Fofana, it's not going to play for Chelsea, maybe for the rest of the season. Now, Palace are able to manufacture draw against us in the last time with a 5-3-2 and us a 5-2-3 without the ball. That's exactly what they did. And Daichi Kamada at that time were dropping them along the park. Now, what Enzo Maresca did in around that game was to try and build around the block. Now, what people would have realized, say, about almost half of the season, and this Enzo Maresca team seems to have gotten a different style of play. They've grown in confidence. Yes, in the last few games, the results haven't come. But then really, if Chelsea would have to go into this game and build around the block of team my friend Crystal Palace, then definitely they have what it takes to build around Crystal Palace for a block. Maresca used a sort of a 4-0 in midfield, like more like a 4-0-6. But I think that it was a 3-1-6 sort of inverting Abrantia friend of Malo Gusto slightly inside around the block, which is very, very important. Palace hasn't changed by the way they play, like I did mention. They are home now against the big teams. They set up in a simpler 5-4-1 chip like they did against Arsenal. I saw it several times when they played against Arsenal. But one of the things that's going to be very important is going to be Marco Correa. Like Oliver Glasner said, the press and counter press, the aggressive, the sustaining of pressure would be very, very important for Chelsea if they want to get anything from this game. Palace wing backs are crucial to how they attack. They combine with the forwards to then attack the space wide and then can exploit a narrow fallback, because usually teams like Chelsea playing a narrow fallback, they just drop one man back in terms of wingers now to make it a 5 at the back when they are defending in transitions. Palace also seem to generate space for their number 10s in shooting opportunities like Ismail Sarr and their players in between the lines. It's something they do very well. I think that the most difficult thing that Palace shows at Chelsea is the generation of transitions, and I've seen it several times. It takes advantage of transitions very well. Say Chase or Park or a lot of gal and then picking up the ball, or lower body strength, or to me and the protected ball and then play the ball into the space for Abrante friend Jean-Philippe who has the physicality and combativeness to hold that play and then bring other people into play. It's something that Crystal Palace do pretty well in the game. I'm sure say it's going to be a huge one for Jean-Philippe Mateta and Abrantia, your friend Breche as when they come on, and as Abrantia friend Ismail Sarr when they play inside games for Chelsea to try and get something out of it. So that's exactly how I think the game is going to pan out. Of course, in the transfer window, it's Manchester City are having conversations around Egyptian attacker, your friend Omar Marmoush. They're trying to get him to come to the Etihad and add up to their quality anymore. Of course, in terms of breaking news, what we heard, and then you may, and he said, Abrantia, your friend, Danny Olmo, on your Abrantia, your friend, Paul Victor. Barca looks like they are going to get close in registering them in the Spanish La Liga as it stands now. That would have been some good news for the FC Barcelona faithfuls. Said team your friend FC Barcelona, Juan Laporte are able to register have 2 players. That is going to be very, very important for them if they are able to register them in the La Liga. But a big one this evening was Real Madrid going on top of the Spanish La Liga. Madrid going on top of the Spanish La Liga. And a lot of drama in there. Vinicius Jr. getting sent off. Mbappe scoring a goal, being chalked off. Bellingham missing a penalty. This season, Bellingham 7 goals, 4 assists in the last 8 La Liga games. That's exactly what a young man, hey Jude, I am with Kylian Mbappe next to him. Madrid fan zone for essay. What a pick of Kylian Mbappe and then Vinicius Jr. in there. And then on top of the Spanish La Liga, Madrid about 19 games. Barca about 19 games. Atletico de Madrid about 1 less game with 18 games. Madrid at the top with 43 points. Atletico de Madrid 41. Barca 38 comfortably. Madrid sit on top over there in terms of how good that they were. Madrid last season struggled under the same referee in the middle of the park in that game that they played against Team Friend in Valencia. But of course, an excellent change. Real Madrid bringing in Abrantia friend Raul Asensio to come on, getting the job done in there. Then of course, Luka Modric also coming on for Dani Ceballos, getting the job done. Vinicius Jr. to red card. That is something that's classic Real Madrid, and it's the character of the Los Blancos of world football. And that's really what sets them apart when you have conversations with other teams and stuff like that. Also, Real Madrid are really truly the biggest club in the world, and you give them the credit for that job and how good they were able to be in that game. And of course, as it stands now, right now, breaking news in the last few minutes ago, the REFF, that's the Spanish Football Federation, are confirming something very significant. RFEF confirms that Barca have sent documents to them and they can return to 1:1, but they are still yet to receive the request which is needed from La Liga to start processing registration of Pau Victor. So what is clear is that from Alfred Martinez, who reports in Barcelona for ACLA, Premio Nacional de la Academia de la Radio, or Barca, Cromon, or the Basque region, those areas in Spain, or reported, said they have received a document from Barca Forno, but still is left with a few things before the registration of Danny Olmo can go through over there as it stands now. It's going to be exciting if Abrantia friend Danny Olmo gets registered for team my friend FC Barcelona, because the Barca fans really want Danny Olmo. to be registered or honum. They really want to see our brand here friend Daniel say Omar register, and then they will have the conversation to come in and get the job done over there. Of course, this is where we draw the curtain on us and Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube, and all the analysis. We'll bring you in the morning all the analysis and the post-match analysis of the Chelsea game. Until then, do take care. Bye-bye.